Hi and welcome to another video on Pipeline, this time about the folder structure. Let's open Windows Explorer and have a look at our files. The installation of Pipeline have provided you with two new drive letters, P drive and the S drive. The P drives are the tools and the structure is quite simple. Top level there's a folder called tools. Inside there are several tools. One we'll have a closer look at is this Maya folder. This is where all the Maya tools are, and they're split into prefs and scripts, which mimics Maya's way of handling scripts, shelves and icons. Okay, now let's have a closer look at the S drive. At the top level is where you'll find a folder for every project. In this case we only have the sample project. Once we go inside any given project, you'll find these three folders: library, miscellaneous and production. Library is where all the assets such as character models, character rigs, textures and so on are stored. Production is where all the animation for the episodes, shots, lighting files, rendering files are stored. And the MISC folder is where the Pipeline browser files are stored, which is the web-based interface where you can navigate your project. One thing to keep in mind here as we navigate deeper into this folder structure is that the library structure and the production structure try to mimic each other as much as possible. And the reason for that is so that tools can work seamlessly between library and production. Let me show you as an example the Fudge Open interface, which you see here navigate through episode, scene and shot, can just be switched over to library where you can navigate through character sets and props. And what we can see here, if we go into the library, is that the Fudge Open interface is identical to the directory structure from this level on. And as we navigate into any given asset in the file structure, we're likely to see these following files. The Maya ASCII version of the asset. This is the working file. This is a file you open through the Fudge interface. Maya ASCII is a great format as a working file, as this can be edited in the text editor if you have any kind of troubles with your file. Also, for most assets you'll also see a Maya binary version of the same file. This is the published or submitted version of the same file. This is the file you would reference in if you were to use Fudge reference. Maya binary are great for published files because they are in most cases smaller and much faster to load. Also in the file structure for the assets you'll see a incremental save folder. This is where the version information is saved. Since the Fudge interface has an easy way of accessing all the version information, which can be done through clicking on the upper right hand corner here, you'll find that there's not much need to actually navigate into this incremental save folder, but I'm showing you that it's here in case you want to know where that data is stored. And we'll take a look inside now to see how the versioning is done. The first thing you'll see inside the incremental save folder is a folder for each file that has been versioned. Let's have a look at Mario MA, and we'll see that there's only ever been saved one version, and it has a corresponding Fudge file that contains version information, which are things like who submitted the file, when was the file submitted, and what was the comment that went with it. These files can be opened in any text editor. If you ever wanted to open a previous version of any given asset, you can do so by selecting the version you want in the Fudge history interface and double click on it. We can now see at the title bar that we have opened a particular version of this asset, and if we hit the save button we would actually roll back to version 1. And Fudge would automatically tag that save in the comment that it's a roll back to version 1. Another important thing to keep in mind with the working MA file and the published MB file is that in the publishing process, Fudge performs a import from reference function, which means that your published MB file does not contain any internal references. Your MA file is likely to contain references. Like in this example, the Mario rig file is referencing in the Mario model file. However, in the published MB version, it's a fully self-contained Maya file with no internal references. Some benefits with this is it's a level of protection for updates. If you are to change the model, this is likely to break the rig, and since rigs are referenced into animation, this would mean that updating the model could break your animation. So changes only travel one department at a time. In the case of a model change, the rig file must be opened to ensure the rig is fully working with the new model and then published before the model change reaches the animation department. Another benefit of this is you avoid having to deal with nested referencing. That's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this demo, and I'll see you next time.